medication slot turns around at the time it's due. The device sounds, the person removes the pills from the device, and the device then resets itself ready for the next dose.
Innovation is a necessity. Technology is an enabler. What we've done is we've made effective use of this technology that we use largely in our day-to-day life. Everybody has mobile phones, smartphones, we Skype people, we FaceTime people, we see our relatives. So now is the time to include the housing into this portfolio, working together, make an integrated health system which works for better safety, better health care of all our patients.
First call service and the equipment which has come along over the last few years helps to keep people independent in their own homes for a lot longer. A lot of people wouldn't be able to stay at home without a lot more support without this equipment. It just makes their lives so much better.
Oh, I don't know what I should do without them. Because I couldn't manage it all.
When my mum was alive, she did everything for my dad. But of course, when things changed when she died, my dad hadn't got a clue. Well, yeah, we were worried that he wouldn't be able to cope after my mum died. He certainly wouldn't have been taking his tablets correct. We sort of knew what technology was available because my daughter went on to Staffordshire Cares for us and helped us to get the right technology in place, the right people in place, and it's worked very well.
I thought that we ought to have first call, especially for us, peace of mind in case he fell, which he often did.
It is peace of mind at night, really, because he tends to do things, turns quickly, falls over, sits down, misses the bed, you know, and if that happens, of course, first call are on the scene more or less straight away, which is good.
It just gives you a peace of mind, you know, if anything goes wrong or you fall or something like that, that there's someone on the end of the line.
We wouldn't be without it, actually. It's saved our lives. It's there when we need it. When my husband falls, which he has a lot, they are there instantly. They pick us up. They just take great care of us. We have got a pill dispenser that reminds me when it's time for tablets. Everything they do is excellent, and we wouldn't be without it.
Telecare has made a lot of difference in my life. I am very confident since I had it put in. I know even if I'm in the house on my own, I've got it on my neck and I feel secure. And the other thing is that when you live on your own, you feel you are isolated from other people. Nobody will find out where you are, but with Telecare is the best thing which has happened to me being here on my own. I feel very secure because I know there is help at hand straight away if I need any. So far, I think I've recommended 10 friends.
This piece of assistive technology has changed the life of a person with dementia who kept failing to take his medication. John Barber was diagnosed with vascular dementia at the age of 84. The disruption, created by small lapses in memory and the ensuing confusion, played havoc with his daily self-medication routine, causing his family concern for his safety and well-being.
My dad's noticed that his memory's been getting worse, but unfortunately this year it sort of came to a head that he's had 3 instances where he's had falls and people have found him, and he's had 3 trips to hospital. So we realised that something needed to be done. I was desperate to get somebody to come in and see my father because I was very concerned, and not being close by and being his only relative, I really wanted someone to come and keep an eye on him and check on him.
Good morning. Thank you.
Most importantly, from my point of view, is the diabetic tablets, because he's been on those for over 40 years and they're the critical things, so he needs to take his medication at the right time. He's also on something for his heart, aspirin to thin the blood, because his condition really is strokes, mini strokes that are affecting his memory. So the aspirin to keep the blood thin. It's all important, really.
Basic within the telecare systems are the dependent alarm schemes that go to a lifeline unit, typically connected into the telephone system, and which will dial through to a call centre when something has happened. But there are far more devices available these days that can link into that same lifeline unit. Things like property exit sensors, falls detectors, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and even down to simple things going to a carer pager to alert the carer that something has happened as well, so that they can respond to the individual and still allow a call to go out to the call centre. Beyond that, there are other pieces of equipment which may need not to go to the call centre. It can even be sent to a simple carer's pager so that they can respond to the incident and deal with it appropriately. Many times we are asked to provide bed sensors for when people with dementia or forgetfulness are getting out in the middle of the night thinking it may be early part of the day, time to get up. These systems can alert firstly to whether they get out of the bed, or if they remain in their own room when they go through the door out of the room, and can allow the carer to come and encourage the individual to go back to bed until it's a more appropriate time. There are even simpler devices which may turn on the lights when somebody gets out of the bed, allowing them to see and maybe helping to reduce the incidence of falls.
I'd like to just say how helpful Approach has been. Nicola came out to see me as an advisor, and she suggested that I had this memory minder, and I found it very, very useful, because my husband, I'd only got to go out of the house perhaps just to hang the washing up or go into the greenhouse, and he would think that I was out. If I put this on before I go and say I'm just going to do such and such a thing, it tells him as he's coming to the door to look for me, and he knows where I am, and it seems to help him, and it saves in the confusion stakes, because he gets very confused at times. But if he knows where I am, he's quite happy.
It boils the water and it boils exactly how much you need. Here at the top you can just adjust the amount of water you need to fill the cup.
To fill 1 cup?
Yes.
Right.
Then you press that. Here we are.
Wow. Well, that's quick. That's good.
I found out about the tracking device because I went to a coffee morning that were for dementia carers, and I was saying the problems I had, and somebody said, oh, there is a tracking device you can now use, and they gave me some information on it. I rang the telecare service asking for information. I knew I'd have to pay for it myself. That didn't bother me, just get peace of mind. If it went out and it didn't come back after a period of time, then the tracking device was put into operation, and it worked very, very well.
My husband wear about the phone, the apps. He always wear on the neck, and I feel I'm better let him going to independence, going to walk. I'm quite happy, and he can find me and I can find him.
The machines are different. We've got big screens on some, we've got trackables on some.
Large keyboards as well. People that's visually impaired, people that's physically impaired, people in wheelchairs. We've got the desk that rises, the ergo desk, so the wheelchair can go right underneath. We've installed Skype on all the machines now. Some of the relatives here have got children abroad, Australia, wherever, and they can talk to them whenever they want.
And we don't just look after the computers, we've got a number of people that come in with Kindles.
Laptops, notepads, Kindles, you name it.
A lot.
I've had my desktop for a long time now.
Yeah.
And it got to the stage where it was getting slow, and my son said at that time I hoofed it, whatever that meant. So we went in and looked at all the laptops. Anyway, we chose one.
Yeah.
And I was happy with it. I seemed to come home and it's all connected up, and I loved it.
Good.
But the next stage is I see you carrying it around with you.
Well, it's like your own encyclopedia.
Well,
you know, you can research
yeah.
anything and find out anything.
Well, I wouldn't want to be without this lifeline.
The Dementia app has helped me in terms of understanding a bit more about dementia, understanding how it affects people and how different parts of the brain are affected, and that gives different symptoms. In Mum's particular case, it's like the front area of the brain which affects short-term memory, because dementia for a carer or family friends can be frustrating sometimes because it's not a consistent thing. One day they present as fine, and then the next day they're all confused. So the Dementia app has been really good in explaining that in layman's terms, really.
So now is the time to include the housing into this portfolio, working together, make an integrated health system which works for better safety, better healthcare of all our patients. By working together in an integrated way, we can transform our health economy. The opportunity is huge and the time is now.